Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. And wow, whew, we are 45 days, 8 hours, 38 minutes, and 33 seconds away from kickoff against the Carolina Panthers. And I don't know about you, but I'm as excited as can be. This is amazing that the off season is over. We no longer have to use that word off season. We can just put it away until February. Our Dallas Cowboys, and boy, they don't disappoint because yesterday was, boy, there was all kinds of stuff to deal with. First and foremost, Kavon Frazier. Let's get an update exactly where we are with this right now. Kavon Frazier had a minor procedure on his knee, which has come rather routine for a lot of players. Basically, they go in with a scope, and orthoscope basically is three little, well, not little, extra large needles that go into your knee. One's for light and fluid to go ahead and flush it through, and the other ones are tools to go through. You get your knees cleaned out and so forth. If there's some bone spurs or a little bit raggedy, ACL and stuff, they can clean it out real easy. A couple weeks later, boom, you're good to go. So this is like almost routine. This is just kind of like getting your teeth cleaned. So Kevon had one of these procedures done in January, but there's a blood clotting issue. Now, we don't know if it's a problem because his blood is clotting and stopping up arteries, or if it's an issue that's coming up where it's not clotting, in which case you get a cut, it just keeps bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. You never get a scab. So we don't have a definitive word on which way it is, clotting or needing to be anti-clotted. But they're running tests, and they're hoping that this is something that just can be treated with some medication. So thoughts and prayers out for him for a speedy recovery, and hopefully it's nothing serious. But this does shed a light on the biggest problem the Dallas Cowboys faced last year. We were 9-7. And you can say, well, if we hadn't lost Zeke Elliott, we would have made the playoffs, which is probably true. You can say if Dak Prescott didn't regress, that we probably would have made the playoffs, which is probably true too. But more than anything that you can point to, depth on this team was the biggest issue that held them back. First half of the season, when you had Tyron Smith there, that offense was humming. Dak Prescott, the majority of his touchdown passes in that first half. You lose Tyron Smith or he's not 100%. We saw what happened with Chaz Green against Atlanta. Had we had a key player in place to take up the slack when you lose a Tyron Smith, we would have made the playoffs. Same thing can be said about linebackers. With Sean Lee out there, we're holding teams to 80-some yards on the ground. Without Sean Lee, we're not holding jack. We're giving up like 180 yards because we didn't have quality depth behind them. Well, going into the season, a lot of people keep saying, forget Earl Thomas. You got Xavier Woods. You've got Kavon Frazier. You got Jeff Heath. We're good. It sounds great as long as everyone stays healthy. But the problem is, it's football. And everybody is one play away from not being healthy and on the field. Sure, you could take Byron Jones, who's been working hard to now learn the nuances of being a cornerback, and move him back to safety, where I don't think he ever really thrived because, in my mind, he's really not a safety. Sure, you could take Jordan Lewis, move him to safety, who last year played as a corner. You can do these things, but the question is that going to be the best that you can do for the team? I don't know. When we look at the available safeties out there, there was Trey Boston, who now has signed a one-year deal with the Cardinals. There's Eric Reed, one of the leaders of the anthem protests with Colin Kaepernick. And then there's Kenny Vaccaro, who was also part of the anthem protests. Jerry Jones will not sign either of those guys, not with his statements yesterday of his anthem policy. Be damned, the NFLPA and the NFL and what they decided before. My players will be on the field, standing at attention. Nobody will be in the locker room. Nobody will protest, flat out. And if that is his stance, there's no chance that he's going to go ahead and bring in either of those guys. So, barring a trade with Seattle for Earl Thomas, you have to start worrying about safety for the Dallas Cowboys. You just have to have another bullet in the chamber. Now, this offseason has been crazy when you start hearing the polls and everything, and we've talked about that several times in here. But even ESPN's top 25, under 25, it's amazing to me the lack of disrespect for Zeke Elliott. He is a better runner than he is pass catcher, although we started getting him more involved last year, being that multiple threat like a Le'Veon Bell. But here's the interesting thing. Over the course of the last 2 years, do you know who has had more yards rushing than anyone else? Zeke Elliott. 2,614 yards. Second is Le'Veon Bell at 2,559. Third is Jordan Howard at 2,435. Fourth is Shady McCoy, 2,405. And at fifth, you have Todd Gurley at 2,190. And you can probably look at that and say, well, there's not a lot of separation there. Until you realize that Zeke Elliott had 2 or more games less than everybody there. Le'Veon Bell had 27. Zeke had 25. Jordan Howard, 31 games to 25. Shady McCoy, 31 games to 25. Todd Gurley, 31 games to 25. So imagine Zeke Elliott this season, the whole suspension behind him, the whole will he or won't he be able to play burden on his brain, the distraction of that, and him coming in with a chip on his shoulder. All I can say is watch out, NFL, because I think Zeke Elliott is going to be coming back with a vengeance. That offensive line, we'll see how Connor Williams does, but he's basically already penciled in to be a starter. Tyron Smith looks like he's lost a few pounds and says he feels better than he has in years. We'll have to wait and see how that is. La'el Collins will have his second year at tackle. He should be able to get his legs up underneath of him. Zach Martin, Travis Frederick, you know they're going to be Pro Bowlers. All I can say is watch out, NFL. And as far as our quarterback, our media guy, cover boy, one of the most popular jerseys in the NFL, Dak Prescott, love him or hate him, he is our quarterback and will be for the foreseeable future. He's been working his butt off. He's had his destination workouts with the guys. He's been working with mechanics gurus out in California. He's been working on his timing. He's been working on his mechanics. He's been working and focused on football. This team, we'll see how things go through camp. We'll hold our breath and hope that we don't have any injuries. But this team, to me, is primed to make some real noise this season. If they can get a little bit of luck, get a couple of breaks, all I say is watch out, NFL. Other than that, guys, it's going to be an exciting filled day. The good thing, at least being here on the East Coast, is practice kicks off at 7 in the evening for us here. And right now, our Dallas Cowboys are tucked in bed. Whew. Football is back. I'm Mark Holmes. It's going to be a bit of a long day because, as they tell me, don't quit your day job. I've got to go demo a bathroom, and then I've got to drive down the country and take care of a refrigerator. I will see you guys later with any news on, of course, our Dallas Cowboys. I'll see you soon.